Robert Smalls was a 23-year-old slave pressed into service for the Confederacy aboard a warship called the Planter. For nearly a year, he quietly observed the movements of the ship and its crew. Just before dawn on May 13, 1862, Smalls took his chance. While the ship's officers slept ashore, he and his fellow slave crewmen pulled anchor and eased the Planter into Charleston Harbor.
They had prearranged to meet their family members and to pick them up and then come back down the peninsula, and they begin the process, and this is in the wee hours of the morning, of sailing out of the harbor. They are embarked now on an extremely dangerous journey.
Smalls knew these waters like the back of his hand, but he also knew the risks that lay ahead. 4 Confederate checkpoints: Castle Pinckney, Fort Ripley, Fort Johnson, and Fort Sumter. Isn't Smalls afraid of being caught? How in the world is a black slave going to pull this off?
He's extremely afraid of being caught. He disguises himself as the captain and also mimics the captain's gait as he walked back and forth across the wheelhouse.
Smalls slipped past the first 3 checkpoints undetected. The most dangerous checkpoint remained: Fort Sumter, with its mighty guns and fearsome cannons. Discovery would mean certain death. As dawn broke, the crew urged Smalls to take a wide berth, but changing course could arouse suspicion. Smalls gave the signal. A few seconds later, the counter signal came back. Pass on by. So they're safe, right? They're free?
Well, they're not completely free, because now we have the situation where a Confederate flagged vessel is sailing out and it begins to approach the vessels of the Union Naval Blockading Force.
Fortunately, the vessel was not fired on. As astonished Union officers boarded the Planter, Smalls stood at attention, saluted, and spoke.
I am delivering this war material, including these cannons, and I think Uncle Abraham Lincoln can put them to good use.
We celebrate. We celebrate.
We celebrate together because we know there's a better Orange County when we empower each other.
We must uplift our neighbors to hold down a strong community.
February is more than just a month.
More than just an obligation to acknowledge the foundation laid by those who came before us.
We give thanks to the past. We give thanks to those who have dreamed for a better present,
so that our eyes may be towards our future.
Black history didn't start in February and it won't end in February.
We will honor the living and continue every day to commemorate those who have passed.
We celebrate together.
We celebrate together because we know there is a better Orange County
when we empower each other.
Hey again. So today is the 1st of October, and for those of you who don't know already, that means it's the start of Black History Month, which is really an important month to celebrate Black history and Black culture. So today, the Union is so awesome actually. They're putting on a spoken word event, and hopefully it turns into like a drinks, cocktails, and fun, awesome music and stuff, which will be really good. So that's where I'm going today. I'll show you a bit more later.
Don't you eat her up too fast with those hungry eyes, standing there in leather jeans, the color of molasses, making you wonder why all girls don't have such fat asses. Girl, why are you even at this event? You ain't even black. My friend, we are going through the similar oppression, so why wouldn't I have your back?
Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you that Africans were barbaric and irregular? Like it was an African man that gave Christopher Columbus the directions to America. Who taught you black people never resisted slavery? Like Harriet Tubman did hundreds of slaves to safety. And the biggest slave rebellion of all time was in Haiti. Who taught you to shorten your name to sound British? See, if that teacher can't pronounce it, you better sit them down and teach them how to pronounce it. You better adjust your crown before you leave your house. Look them in the eye and let them know that you're black and proud.
The system's fucked, but no one will listen. There's so many flaws in Western capitalism. So that's why all the time I wish people fought with a mind like mine, because if they did, by now, somebody would have freed Palestine.
Hey, you girls, how you hair so pretty? As far as me gone to go big up the city? Yeah, you don't know me go and mash up the place. A Jamaica me bond, them can't question me race. They'll call me a mongrel or even a mutt. Some cultural question mark who won't let your mind shut. Fuck your racial jigsaw, embrace is unknown.
I saw the UK as a liberal heaven, but it shocked me to find that homosexuality was only legalized in 1967. Your daughter looks like a dyke. The 6 words that came from my mother's soul, the highest form of insult she thought was ever told. I swear down that night we almost went to blows. Cause he without sin shall cast the first stone, but when it comes to gays, all the stones get thrown. No wonder I've been lying to myself for so long, thinking everything that set straight was undeniably wrong.
Hello again. So I've just come back from the Spoken Word Black History Month launch, and it was so good. Hopefully you'll have just seen some extracts from the amazing poetry and amazing voices that we heard today. It was actually amazing. I'm so tired now.
I'm feeling high.
I am against racism, every form of discrimination. The words of Malcolm X.
Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man?
A supporter of the unification of human beings in society, battling against racism, an infectious disease eradicated by the principles of our religion.
You should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God gave you.
The Islamic religion, his belief in the oneness of God, impressed by the brotherhood exemplified in pilgrimage, every race, every colour coming together as one. His experiences led him to believe it possible for people of different races and backgrounds to cooperate and coexist, learn to consider one another amidst the adversities. His powerful speeches of inspiration, my inspiration. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance next time. This is our time, Black History Month, to put aside ignorances within our community. Prevent the heartbreak of a child who is pushed aside because of the label of difference and no longer subscribe to sweeping indictments of any one race, as Malcolm X once said, so that society can live in harmony.
England said they needed men, and I took the test for the Royal Air Force and passed. My mother said, son, the mother country is at war, go, and if you live, it will be a good thing. Well, I repair aircraft. I'm an aircraft engineer, and I don't like Lancaster bombers because they are too big. Spitfire's all right, but what I like is the American Dakotas. 15,000 of us volunteered, and the air crews, which were among the first, they wanted me to be a rear gunner, and my mother said no, because the average lifespan of a rear gunner was 6 months. I'm glad I helped, yes. I could have gone to America and get more money, but no, because I did my bit for king and country.
With the people, for the people, and by the people. Being a black woman from Mississippi, I've learned that long ago that's not true. It's with a handful, for a handful, by a handful. But we gonna change that, baby.
This is a
kickoff to Black History Month. It's the first event that we're doing here in Anderson.
I know that Anderson has a huge African American community here, and I think it's fantastic today that we're actually celebrating that here at Anderson Afternoons.
I stand by the belief that Black history, is American history. Black history month starts January 1st and ends December 31st.
It is that reminder for me as well that we do need to take a step back and collectively look at ourselves and at the country.
Black History Month to me is a chance for us to remember some of the most important people in our history. It's a time for us to recognize how far we've come and how far yet we still have to go.
It's just really an opportunity to recognize the contributions African Americans have made to America, looking back towards the Civil Rights Movement, for example, understanding how many people sacrificed pretty much everything in the fight to be able to create what we see today. And it's also a reminder that there's a lot left to be done.
History is ongoing, so history is building over time. And if we bring history into the decisions that we make today, then we can be stronger and more creative leaders moving into the future.
Black power means black dignity. Just as surely as you're proud to be white, we're proud to be black. Black is beautiful, baby. We don't want any more than you have, and we're not going to accept any less than you have. That's black power.